We'll keep that there. Okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Chanda Vallabha Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are very fortunate to be reading from the Srimad-bhagavatam, 8th canto. There was chapter 7 now, beginning of the chapter. The chapter is called Lord Shiva Saves the Universe by Drinking Poison. You check, we have sound today?
Yes.
The other day we didn't have sound. So it's the beginning of the chapter, so we have a short summary here. The summary of the 7th chapter is as follows. As described in this chapter, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appearing in his incarnation as a tortoise, dove deep into the ocean to carry Mandara mountain on his back. At first, the churning of the ocean produced Kalakuta, poison. Everyone feared this poison, but Lord Shiva satisfied them by drinking it. With the understanding that when the nectar was generated from the churning, they would share it equally, the demigods and the demons brought Vasuki to be used as the rope for the churning rod. By the expert arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the demons held the snake near the mouth, whereas the demigods held the tail of the great snake. Then, with great endeavor, they began pulling the snake in both directions. Because the churning rod, Mandara mountain, was very heavy and was not held by any support in the water, it sank into the ocean, and in this way the prowess of both the demons and the demigods was vanquished. The Supreme Personality of Godhead then appeared in the form of a tortoise and supported Mandara mountain on his back. Then the churning resumed with great force. As a result of the churning, a great amount of poison was produced. The Prajapatis, seeing no one else to save them, approached Lord Shiva and offered him prayers full of truth. Lord Shiva is called Ashutosh because he is very pleased if one is a devotee. Therefore, he easily agreed to drink all the poison generated by the churning. The goddess Durga, Bhavani, the wife of Lord Shiva, was not at all disturbed when Lord Shiva agreed to drink the poison. For she knew Lord Shiva's prowess. Indeed, she expressed her pleasure at this agreement. Then Lord Shiva gathered the devastating poison, which was everywhere. He took it in his hand and drank it. After he drank the poison, his neck became bluish. A small quantity of the poison dropped from his hands to the ground, and it became this poison that it is because of this poison that there are poisonous snakes, scorpions, toxic plants, and other poisonous things in the world. Okay. So now we know why there are poisonous things in the world, because of the poison that was dripped from the hand of Lord Shiva. So the first verse, which doesn't have a purport, second verse doesn't have a purport, so we read the first 3 verses, and then there's a purport, and we'll speak something. Shri Sukha Uvacha Te Naga Rajam Amantriya Pala Bhagena Vasukim Hari Vyagaro Tasmin Netram Abding Mudan Vitaha Are Bire Sarayata Amritarte Guru Dwaha Shri Shuka Uvacha Te Naga Rajam Amantra Te Naga Rajam Amantra Palavagena Vasukim Pariviya Giro Tasmin Netram Abding Mudan Vitaha Hare Pire Surayata Amritarte Guru Dwaha Shri Shuka Uvacha Te Naga Rajam Amantra Palavagena Vasukim Pariviya Giro Tasmin Netram Abding Mudan Vitaha Hare Pire Surayata Amritarte Kuru Dwaha Shri Shuka Uvacha Te Naga Rajam Amantra Palavagena Vasukim Hariviya Guru Tasmin Netram Abding Mudan Vitaha Hare Vire Surayata Amritarte Kurudvaha Shri Shuka Uvacha Te Naga Rajan Amantra Palavagena Vasukim Pariviya Giro Tasmin Netram Abding Mudan Vitaha Viviya Surayata Amritarte Kurudvaha Shri Shuka Uvacha Te Naga Rajam Amya Palavagena Vasukim Giro Tasmin Netram Abding Mudan Vitaha Palavagena Vasukim Pariviya Giro Tasmin Netram Abding Mudan Vitaha Amritarte Kurudvaha. Word for word synonyms. Shri Shuka Uvacha. Shri Shukadev Goswami said, Te, all of them, the demigods and the demons, Nagarajam, the king of the Nagas, or snakes. Amantra, inviting or requesting. Halavagena, by promising a share of the nectar. Vasukim, the snake Vasuki. Hariviya, encircling. Giro, Mandara mountain. Tasmin, unto it. Netram, the turning rope. Abdim, the ocean of milk. Muna Andritaha, all surcharged with great pleasure. Arevire, began to act. Suraha, the demigods. Yataha, with great endeavor. Amrita Arte, for gaining nectar. Kuru Udvaha, O King Parikshit, best of the Kurus. Translation. Shukadev Goswami said, O best of the Kurus, Maharaj Parikshit, the demigods and demons summoned Vasuki, the king of the snakes, requesting him to come and promising to give him a share of the nectar. They coiled Vasuki around Mandara mountain as a turning rope, and with great pleasure they endeavored to produce nectar by churning the ocean of milk. And there's no purport, so I'll just chant the next Sanskrit and translation, and then the next one after that, and it's in purport. Hari Purastaj Jagrihe Purvang Devastato Bhavan. It's a short verse. The personality of Godhead, Ajita, grasped the front portion of the snake, and then the demigods followed. Tannaichan Daiche Patayo Mahapurusha Cheshtitam Na Greenimo Vayang Pucham Ahir Angam Amangalam Swadhyaya Shuta Sampana Prakyata Janma Karmavi. The leaders of the demons thought it unwise to hold the tail, the inauspicious portion of the snake. Instead, they wanted to hold the front, which had been taken by the personality of Godhead and the demigods, because that portion was auspicious and glorious. Thus the demons, on the plea that they were all highly advanced students of Vedic knowledge and were all famous for their birth and activities, protested that they wanted to hold the front of the snake. Okay. Purport. The demons thought that the front of the snake was auspicious, and that catching hold of that portion would be more chivalrous. Moreover, Daityas must always do the opposite of the demigods. That is their nature. We have actually seen this in relation to our Krishna consciousness movement. We are advocating cow protection and encouraging people to drink more milk and eat palatable preparations made of milk. But the demons, just to protest such proposals, are claiming that they are advanced in claiming that they are advanced in scientific knowledge, as described here by the words Swadhyaya Shruta Sampanaha. They say that according to their scientific way, they have they have discovered that milk is dangerous, and that beef obtained by killing cows is very nutritious. This is demonic mentality. The difference of opinion will always continue. Indeed, it has existed since the days of yore. Millions of years ago, there was the same competition. The demons, as a result of their so-called Vedic study, preferred to hold the side of the snake near the mouth. The Supreme Personality of Godhead thought it wise to catch hold of the dangerous part of the snake and allow the demons to hold the tail, which was not dangerous. But because of a competitive desire, the demons thought it wise to hold the snake near the mouth. If the demigods were going to drink poison, the demons would resolve, why should we not share the poison and die gloriously by drinking it? Get that? Let's do that again. If the demigods were going to drink poison, the demons would resolve, why should we not share the poison and die gloriously by drinking it? In regard to the words Shraddhaya Shruta Sampanaha Prakyata Janma Karma B, another question may be raised. If one is actually educated in Vedic knowledge, if one is actually educated in Vedic knowledge, is famous for performing prescribed activities, and has been born in a great aristocratic family, why should he be called a demon? The answer is that one may be highly educated and may have been born in an aristocratic family, but if he is godless, if he does not listen to the instructions of God, then he is a demon. There are many examples in history of men like Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, and Kamsa, who were all well educated, who were born in aristocratic families, and who were very powerful and chivalrous in fighting, but who, because of deriding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, were called Rakshasas, or demons. One may be very well educated, but if he has no sense of Krishna consciousness, no obedience to the Supreme Lord, he is a demon. That is described by the Lord himself in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse 15. Namang duskritino mudha prapajante naradama mayaya parityagyana asurang bhavam ashritaha. Quote, those miscreants who are grossly foolish, lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. Asarang bhavam refers to not accepting the existence of God or the transcendental instructions of the personality of Godhead. Bhagavad Gita clearly consists of transcendental instructions imparted directly by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But asuras, instead of accepting these instructions directly, make commentaries according to their own whimsical ways and mislead everyone without profit, even for themselves. One should therefore be very careful of demoniac godless persons, according to the words of Lord Krishna. Even if a godless demon is very well educated, he must be considered a buddha, naradama, and maya parityagyana. Ovagyana timaranda shagana jana shalakaya chakshurun militam jina tasmai shri gurave namaha. So, yes, so Srila Prabhupada makes a very interesting point here, that those of demoniac nature have to just for the sake of disagreeing, they're going to disagree with anything that those with a godly nature are going to accept. Srila Prabhupada gives the example about the milk. According to Vedic knowledge, milk is it's a very wonderful substance. In the first canto, Srimad-bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes that milk is described as liquid religiosity, or religiosity in liquid form. It's because, well, there are two reasons I remember. One reason that it's liquid religiosity is that by drinking milk, it helps to develop the higher brain tissues, or certain brain tissues that help one understand, help one to better understand spiritual subject matters. Srila explains like that. So milk is actually important for drinking, nutritionally for that purpose. It's also considered a religious liquid religiosity, because from milk comes many things, but including butter, which can be made into ghee, and ghee is used in sacrifices, like fire sacrifices. And of course, ghee is also used for cooking, and of course that cooking, if it's done for the pleasure of Krishna, offered to Lord Krishna, then it's also spiritually beneficial. So in so many ways, the milk is very important. And contrarily, the eating of the cow, eating of any animal, killing, slaughtering of animals, and the cows are especially, that is just the opposite. It is extremely unfavorable for one who wants to advance in spiritual life. So therefore, any spiritual pursuit, any serious spiritual pursuit, in any age, one must avoid eating meat, fish, eggs, and of course all the other regulating principles. And yet in spite of the actual fact that milk and cow protection and so on are extremely important and extremely beneficial for human society, but those of demonic nature see things in a different way. I remember one time, and this may be a regular thing going on, but I remember there was one time that there's some evil study that was done. It was showing the cows, I don't know how they calculated this, but by the cows breathing or something. They're producing so much harmful gases in the world, and therefore to save the world they had to kill so many cows for the protection of the human beings. Of course, it's all nonsense, but that was the conclusion of this so-called scientific study. And of course, the meat industry, the animal slaughtering industry is huge everywhere. Even in India, it's huge because of the demoniac mentality. So, but still, Srila Prabhupada, in spite of the nature of the world and the misunderstanding of people in the world, he insisted that we not only practice Krishna consciousness, we follow these regular principles, but that we put it in practical, practically apply these principles. So we follow the principles, and we teach others the importance of cow protection. So we give out prasadam, like food for life type prasadam, which of course is vegetarian and is prasadam. We open up restaurants here all over the world, everywhere as possible, to give out or sell prasadam, which of course is vegetarian. And our farms, many farms, ISKCON farms all over the world, have cows, so many cows, where they are, of course the cows are being protected. And ISKCON cows are never taken and slaughtered. The Western ideas are they get the milk, but when they don't get enough, when the cow doesn't produce enough milk, then it becomes a liability, they say, and therefore they kill. So, but Srila Prabhupada preached very, very heavily against this tendency, and then the Srila Prabhupada also is explaining here that even one may be born in a very aristocratic family, one may be highly educated, materially educated, one may have so many good material qualities, but if they don't believe in God, or they don't accept the existence of God, then they are considered demons. So we don't go around just telling people that you're a demon, I'm a devotee, I love God. No, we don't go around talking like that. But it's a fact. If one is an atheist, if one does not believe in God, if one is opposed to the supremacy of God, then that's the demoniac nature. But that doesn't mean that if one is not, someone's this religion or that religion, and believe in God, they may not follow the path that we're following here, but that doesn't mean they are demons. It means they're following their path, they have their faith in their path, and there's nothing wrong with that, because Krishna sends his servants, his representatives. So the Srila says his sons, like in Christianity, Jesus is the Son of God. He sends different representatives of himself, and sometimes he comes himself to teach religion. Just like Lord Chaitanya came 500 some years ago, and he taught the importance of chanting Hare Krishna. And of course he gave a lot of philosophy too, to those who were qualified to hear it. But he gave that knowledge and that method for self-realization. So Lord Chaitanya did like that. So if one is practicing any religion, if they believe in God, they have faith in God, then they're we don't, or actually anyone of any other religion should not be going to them and saying, well, your rituals and your particular practices are bad or no good because they're different than mine. The fact is that different religious leaders have come through different times in history and have given methods according to what the people at that time had at least had a chance to follow. So Jesus came and he taught in a certain time and circumstance, and so he taught what the people at least had a chance to understand, and Lord Krishna, when he came 5,000 years ago, of course he gave Bhagavad Gita, and Srila Vyasadeva gave Srimad-bhagavatam, and so on. So this is the higher knowledge, but it doesn't mean that the others are bad, because not everyone's ready to take up the path of Krishna consciousness right now. Personally, I grew up Christian background, and although there's some differences obviously between Christianity and Krishna consciousness, but I think if I had not had, if I had not had that particular religious background, then when I found out of Krishna consciousness, if I had grown up being taught to be an atheist, for example, it would have been very difficult to take up Krishna consciousness. So each person is following a particular path, and of course some people don't follow any religious path, but many people are following different religious paths. So maybe in this lifetime, that's as far as they go, but because of their religious activities, because of their that faith that they've developed, and they've got a chance that lifetime, or maybe another lifetime, to take up even a higher path, which is Krishna consciousness. So so Srila Prabhupada never got into criticizing the particular rituals and specific methods of the different religious practices, only if they were completely off the path. So Srila Prabhupada, the only thing he ever said in any religion, any criticism that he makes of any religion, was, at least in the Judeo-Christian line, was, thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not kill. So your Jesus or the leaders of your path, your faith, are saying thou shalt not kill. Why are you killing? Right? It makes so much sense, and people don't think about these things. For sure, Prabhupada would point out, if you didn't say don't follow, you can say you can be Christian, you can be Jew, you can be anything, but at least follow the instructions that you were given. And of course we say the same thing about ourselves. We say I'm Hare Krishna, so we know that we need to chant Hare Krishna. We need to follow the principles, and we've got our philosophy is actually quite deep. But at least the basics. We need to chant our rounds, follow the principles, and see how we can practice and teach others how to practice the path of Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada points out that even Ravana and Kamsa and Hiranyakashipu, who were well known as demons, they really were of demonic nature, but they all materially they were very very knowledgeable in Vedic knowledge. astronomy, everything. They were very, very knowledgeable, but they didn't believe in God, or at least they didn't accept the supremacy of God. So if you look at someone in society, scientists and big people in big positions, maybe people who are very rich, maybe people who are famous in some way, we may be attracted to them, but what Krishna sees is how does that person believe in God? Are they serving God, or are they? Because they're in this educated or aristocratic or some high position materially because of their past karma, because something they've done. Srila Prabhupada actually said that if someone is born in a very well-to-do family, very rich family, he doesn't have to. He's never had to really struggle for survival. He says that they're in that position because of their past devotional activities. Yes. So it means that someone took up the path, maybe they're practicing yoga, they gave it up, so they didn't go back to Godhead in that lifetime, and they are now they've taken another birth, and they've been given a good material situation, not so they can engage in demonic activities, but so that they can not be troubled by material problems, and they can concentrate their attention on devotional service. Unfortunately, people don't generally understand that. They don't understand that. So if someone is born in a very good material situation, a lot of times people think, "Oh, I'm like this. I'm a very special person, and I'm better than everyone, and then I can I would simply enjoy my situation because I'm special." Many times that they come to that conclusion, but the fact is that they've gotten that position, according to Srila Prabhupada, because of their past devotional activities, and it means in this lifetime they don't have to worry about different kinds of just trying to survive like that. But they don't have to worry about that. They can simply concentrate their energy, a lot more of their energy than someone else, on the spiritual path. So it's 8:28. So maybe I should ask if there are any questions, comments.
So why is not sure
It means he's very easily pleased, and also very easily displeased.
Santosh means completely satisfied. Ashutosh, one who is easily satisfied, or Ashu also easily.
Yes, so it has two meanings. All right, because you can please him very easily, and you can mess up real easily too. So if you please him, you get the material things you want, and if you displease him, then you can lose everything.
Also, one of the moral meanings of this verse is that people in materialistic consciousness, even at the level of the demigods, they do not hesitate in using divine entities for the satisfaction of their own pleasure. Either they are using Vasuki, they are using Kurma, Krishna Avatar, to shake the ocean of milk for the sake of a nectar of immortality to acquire pleasure. So that's the mundane religiosity. So they use divine thing for the ultimate purpose is to material enjoyment. You have a Krishna Avatar there, you have Vasuki there, this manifestation power. But the whole purpose of approaching them is not for bhakti, it's not for knowledge, it's for the amrita, the nectar to enjoy, the Karma Kanda is not.
Yeah, good point. Never thought about that. Just like God, please give me my daily bread. Please give me a new car. Going to God for material things, so they're actually going to God and actually accepting the service of God. I mean, the tortoise incarnation, Kurma, he's holding the mountain, and Suki is king of the snakes. Is it considered an incarnation too?
I'm not exactly Vasuki kind of manifestation of God, I'm not sure. Or power, I'm not sure, I have to review. But the snakes that are at the bottom of the universe, yes, they are Ananta and stuff, they are manifestation of God.
Yes, yeah, not the same.
Sure. I don't think so.
But anyway, they're
it's not going to be 90%.
and they're
At any rate, Kurma is there, obviously. Vishnu is there, Garuda is there. All of them are there. Instead of asking for knowledge, divya jnana, divine knowledge, let's see how we use this to attain more material pleasure. Not only ordinary material pleasure, but they have immortality, but we never die. We keep enjoying it forever.
yeah. Good point. Anyone else? Okay, so it's 8:32. So we'll end here. Tomorrow we go on to verse 4. Well, maybe a few other verses because there's no purport for verse 4. We'll end here. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.